Okay, good. So, okay, so sorry about the interruption just now. Let's continue. Okay, so let's focus on the one I typed in. Can you see?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make things simpler this time round. So I realized there is a better way to present this, how to do this question. Yeah. Okay, good. So what you can do is, what you're going to do is, you know that you can actually get the first arrow. Let me see. Let me get this. Okay, over here. So this is your first arrow, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, you get your second arrow. Copy, paste. So this is the second arrow. Am I right?
Yeah.
Good. So what you can actually do is this. After the first arrow, okay, let me write this down first. Let me copy this down. Okay, so what you can do is after the first arrow, actually the 2 is actually inside. Am I right?
Yeah.
So basically when you open the bracket, right? First arrow, second arrow, what you are actually doing is you are actually putting the 2 here. Okay, you are actually putting the 2 here. You move this 2 inside. You move the 2 inside. Can I do movement here? And I can lah, but I need to do it elsewhere. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, good. So what you are actually doing here after your first arrow, right? What you are actually doing is you are moving the 2 inside. And then the second arrow here, you are moving the 2 inside. So
Yeah.
after that, you end up with what? If you do the first arrow, you end up with 2A. If you do the second arrow, you end up with 2B. So what you are actually doing is you move the 2 inside. So similarly, let me continue. Similarly, so you are doing for the second part here, right?
Yeah.
So what you are actually doing is, let's say you also have the first arrow. B, hex. So this is the first arrow. And of course, this is the second arrow. So your first arrow, what you are doing is actually you are moving the 3 inside. And then the second arrow, you are moving the 3 inside. So you will end up with what? You will end up with 3B plus 3A. So do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why your yes is not confident? Okay, so let me just do it here. A very simple one. So I don't know why your yes is not a confident yes. Okay, let me just. Okay, so let me just get this question out. Make it bigger. Okay, so far so good. So this is the same question. I just give myself more space only. Okay, so what you have here is, so what you do here is, of course, you need to do the first arrow, the second arrow thing, right? First arrow, second arrow. So what you are actually doing is, in your first arrow, you are putting the 2 inside. You are putting the 2 inside for the first arrow to the A. And then what you are doing for the second arrow is you are putting the 2 inside next to the B. Okay, so if I were to make use of this, okay, So what you're actually doing here is this. So your 2, right? After the first arrow, you move it inside here. Okay. Then after the second arrow, you move your 2. Let me give another 2, copy, paste. So you 2, so you move to the second arrow, you move it here. So that's why here, gone. Okay. So this one, gone. Okay. Then now, what you should be looking at is this part, the second part. So of course, you start with this one is the first arrow. This is the second arrow, right? So far, so good. Hello.
Yeah.
So when you do the first arrow, what you are actually doing is you are moving the 3 inside next to the B. And if you are doing for the second arrow, what you are doing is you are moving the 3 inside next to the A. Okay, so let me just get it out. No, not this one. I don't want this one. So I need this one. Okay, so first arrow, you move the B, first arrow, okay, so first arrow is 3 times B, right? So you're actually moving the 3 inside next to the B. So for the second arrow, you move the 3 inside next to the 3 to the A. Okay, so therefore here is gone. Right?
Yeah.
So what you end up with is this. You end up with this. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. So what you end up with is this. You end up with this. The first part, you end up with this. Okay? Then for the second part, you end up with this. Right? Then of course, they are separated by a minus sign here.
Yeah.
Then you bring down. Okay, so far so good.
Yeah.
So when you times, right, basically you move the 2 inside for the first part. So over here, when you times, you move the 3 inside. Then after that, your next thing you need to do is you need to open the bracket. So how do you open the bracket for this? So over here, there's nothing in front, right? There's nothing, right? So you just open the bracket. Okay. Then now comes the important part. Can you see that there is a minus sign here? Can you see the minus sign here?
Yeah.
So the minus sign here, what you need to do, open bracket again. So this is the second part that you need to open bracket. This is the first arrow. Then of course, this is the second arrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you have here is the first part, if you read after the first arrow, if you read is minus 3b, right? Can you see? Minus 3b, minus sign 3b, so it's minus 3b, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Then the next part is, the second arrow is minus 3a, right? Can you see? Minus 3a, can you see?
Yeah.
So it's minus 3a. But can you see that between the 3b and the 3a, you have a plus sign here, right? Can you see?
Yeah.
So this plus sign is for you to separate your first and the second result. So you need to put a plus sign here. Okay?
Yeah.
Then after that, you can see that you have a 2a here, then you have the 2b here, then minus 3b here. Oh, now you have a plus and minus here. Can you see? Plus minus. Can you see or not? So this plus minus give you what? Plus minus give you?
Minus.
Minus. Therefore, you end up with minus 3a. That's not all. Can you see that you can combine the 2a with the minus 3a?
Yeah.
Can you see that you can combine the plus 2b with the minus 3b because they are similar terms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, now I'm going to look at your solution. Okay, so I need to move up. Here, right?
Yeah.
This is the one, right? Okay, good. So I think you did a good job by doing the okay, I think this one is good. So basically, okay, once again, when you do the first arrow, basically what you do is you move the 2 inside. So you end up with 2a plus 2b, which is correct. So when you do the 3 times, right? You are moving the 3 inside also. Okay,
Yeah.
you are moving the 3 inside. So you should end up with bracket 3b minus 3b plus 3a. So basically you should end up with this after moving the 3 and the 2 inside. So the next part is, of course, you need to do this. Okay. So the first arrow you get minus 3b. The second arrow you get minus 3a. And in between there is a plus sign to separate these two. So you need to copy down the plus sign. Then of course in front you have 2a plus 2b. And then you need to combine these similar terms. So plus minus give you minus here. So you combine similar term, 2a minus 3a is, you did not simplify. 2a minus 3a is minus a. 2b minus 3b is minus b. So this is the final answer. You did not combine similar term. Can you see here?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the thing. So I want to emphasize once again, if you are doing this type of question, right, what I want you to do is when you times inside, you are basically moving the 2 inside. Okay, when you times inside, you are basically moving the 3 inside. Okay, then after that, you need to do open the bracket for the second part. Okay, so the first arrow in this case is minus 3b, then the second arrow is minus 3a. In between, you have a plus sign, so you need to fill it up. So similarly, if I'm going to give you a next question. Let me carry out this first. So similarly, if I give you this question, okay, similarly, so what you do, the first step is you move the 4 inside and you move the 5 inside. So after moving, you should end up with this. Am I right or not?
Yeah.
And then after that, you need to open the bracket. So for the first part here, this is the first part, there is nothing here, right? There's nothing here, so you basically just copy. Okay. Then now comes to the second part. The second part you need to do, first arrow, you get minus 5a. Then the second arrow, you have what? You have minus 5b. Minus 5b. Then in between, there is a plus sign here. Can you see? Can you see the plus sign?
Yeah.
So you cannot ignore the plus sign. You need to combine. You need to you need to bring down the plus sign. Then after that, you need to do some cleanup. Can you see plus minus? You get minus. Then of course, the next step is you need to combine similar term. Right?
Yeah.
So once you combine similar term, you will see that your answer is minus a. So your final answer is minus a and minus b for this question, this particular question. Okay. So I want you to do this, do this type of question in this manner. Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on. I should be looking at your. Okay, next time, please check before you send me the work, the correct work. Okay, you don't send me last week or last week. Okay, let me go to this one. Yeah. Okay, so we should be looking at the last few questions already. Good. This part done already. Can you see your mistake here? If you're looking at this question, the two inside, the two inside. So, how come you did not copy the minus? Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, if I copy this question, right, 1.5 times a plus b minus 2 times b plus c, right? So after the first, so I'm going to move the 1.5 inside, right? Let me give myself some space here. So what I'm going to do, I know that my 1.5 is going inside. So I am going to move my 1.5 to here. I'm going to move my 1.5 to here. So once I move, nothing already. Same thing, I'm going to move my 2 inside. I'm going to move my 2 inside. By the way, this is C, right? So my 2 is here, my 2 is here. So the 2 is gone. The 2 is gone, not the minus sign is not gone. The minus sign still, okay? The minus sign is still here, right?
Yeah.
Never mind, I don't have enough space here. Let me go and do this question on the next, on this. So you have 1.5, a plus b. Then you have minus 2, then b plus c. Okay, so like I say, this one is, after this, you should get 1.5a plus 1.5b. Right? Then after that, next, the minus sign is here. So you are going to move your 2 inside. So you end up with 2b plus 2c with the bracket. Right? Your 2, you move it inside here. The 2, you move it inside here. So you end up with this. Then the next step is open the bracket. So first, second, separated by a plus. So the first one you get minus 2b. The second one you get minus 2c. You just read lah, minus 2c. And then separated by a plus. So after that, you continue. Minus 2b, plus minus minus. So do you have similar term? Yes, your similar term is this one only. The rest is not similar. So continue. So plus 1.5 minus 2 is minus 0.5b. Then of course, the behind one is minus 2c. So this is the final answer for just now the question. So far, so good?
Yes.
Good. So I explained to you for this question already. Next. So then he has X dollar. This question is also very common. X dollar, 13 more. So it's X minus 13. Then Frank has 1.5 times. Very good. Hey, I thought you say the numerical value must be in front. That's not what you said. You said numerical value must be in front, right?
Yeah.
Then how come you put the numerical value behind? So this is a mistake. Then what they say, how much do they have in total? So you add all this, I should see this one, combine with this one, then combine with this one. So you should have, you have X, you have another X, then you have 1.5X. Total up, you have 3.5X. So your answer should be 3.5X minus 13. Wrong. By the way, how can you write X 1.5 like that? You should write it this manner. Okay, next. So you have 4e, then 4e, then it has 4e, okay, 4e minus 2.5 times as AD. So, look, 2.5 times AD, right? So the 2.5 times AD. So I need to write down the statement 2.5 times AD, right?
Yeah.
So what is AD? AD is this one, right?
Yeah.
So I just write, okay, AD. So I write down with a bracket. How come you put the 2.5 behind? I thought the 2.5 times, can you see? Can you read the statement 2.5 times of AD? Can you see?
Yeah.
So 2.5 of AD, that means this is the math, right? Am I right or not?
Yeah.
So if 2.5 times AD, so basically, this is simply like this. You just write 2.5 times of AD. So this is the English part. So I'm going to change this to a math part. It's 2.5 times AD. Can you see? I want you to do
Yeah.
it this way. I want you to do it this way, meaning you write down the English first, then write down the math. Then after that, you write down 2.5 times what is AD with a bracket. AD is 4e minus 15. If why I need to put a bracket? Because the whole thing here is AD. That's why I put a bracket. Then after this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the bracket. And then they are separated by a minus sign. Okay?
Yeah.
Next. So once again here, x minus 10. So what is it? Has 5 more than. Minus 10 minus 5 is minus 5. Minus 10 minus 5, if you punch your calculator, is minus 15. So the answer here should be x minus 15. Then it says what? Frank has two times. So I want you to write down the English. So Frank has 2 times. So 2 times of AD. So this is the English. So the math is 2 times AD. So AD is how much with a bracket? AD is x minus 15. So after that, you just open the bracket. And they are separated by a minus sign. Simple?
Yeah.
So this one, I look at this already. This one is correct. This one is also correct. Let me double check. Okay, good. Then this one is also correct. Okay, so looks like this algebra question, you still have problem, especially this. Can you go back and redo these 3 questions?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean this one, and then this one, and then of course this one. Okay, so basically you need to make use of this concept. Write down the English, which is given by the question. Then of course write the English in math representation. Then of course next, fill it up with what is AD with a bracket. Okay, let me tell you why you need to put a bracket. Okay, let me tell you why you need to put a bracket. So let's say you have 2 times AD. Are you looking at my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So let's say AD is x minus 15. So over here, there is no bracket, right? Can you see
Yes.
there is no bracket here? There is no bracket
Yeah.
here. So what what you do here is you are telling people without the bracket, without the bracket here, what you are telling people is you are just times the x. So 2x minus 15. Okay?
Yeah.
Without the bracket. You are telling people you just 2 times the x. But with the bracket, let me show you with the bracket what you are telling people. This is without the bracket. Okay, this is without the bracket. So let's say with the bracket. 2 times Eddie, same, that's the question. Then after that, you 2 times with the bracket. With the bracket, that means you are telling people, this x minus 15 is Eddie. Just now, without the bracket, you are just telling people x is Eddie. Okay?
Yeah.
So over here, if I continue to do this question, first arrow, second arrow, first arrow I get 2x, second arrow I get 30, and then these two are separated by the minus sign. Can you see the difference in the answer also? Can you see that the first one without the bracket is 2x minus 15? Can you see that the second one with the bracket is 2x minus 30? Can you see the difference? Can you see or not?
Yeah.
So therefore, next time when you do, you need to put a bracket to show that x minus 15 is for Eddie. And then over here, without the bracket, you are telling people x is Eddie only. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Okay, can. So, yeah, so that's it. So any other question for me? Hello, you're not responding.
Yeah.
Any other question for me?
No.
Okay, good. So sorry for the interruption just now. So basically,
Yeah.
I make up for the lost time or so. So okay, Ken. So thanks for the cooperation.
Yeah.
Go back and redo these 3 questions, 29, 30, and 31. And of course, yeah, send me the correct word before. Okay. I don't want to entertain you. Send me the wrong one, or you send me the not clear one. I am sick of all your mistakes already. Oh, is your mom around?
Yeah.
Okay, ask your mom to come over. I want to speak to your mom just for a few words.
Okay.